And that is the whole point of this, of restorative yoga, right? We allow the body to rest, to recover, to restore. And sometimes that means props. And props are okay. What do we have? Yeah, okay. So that's, oh, here comes Carol. Okay, wonderful, Carol. I'm glad you're here too. So grab your stuff. It's 2 blankets or like 2 big towels, whatever you've got, 2 blocks, bolster, cushion, something that you can use to support you. Today's class is very calm because that's what restorative yoga is, right? You just kind of need to take that break. Here we go. So we're going to start on our backs without props. I would say that if your head needs a support, then definitely support the head. It might not be as big as a blanket that you need. It might be something smaller like a hand towel or something, but we're going to come down to the back. Let me just kind of, I'll do that and I'll walk you through it. So coming down to the back, really important when we're lying down on our backs, we want to know where the head and neck is, right, in relation to the spine. So if your head is on the ground and your chin is up and this throat is stretched, that is not comfortable, and it won't allow you to rest. So that's why you might want to grab either a blanket or a towel or something and just kind of support that head so that now my nose is higher than my chin, my neck isn't stretched, everything is in line the way it should be. So that's really important that we get the head right. Then we're going to let the legs be long if the lower back is happy, okay? And if the lower back isn't happy, that's not what we're going to do, right? If lower back doesn't like that, we bend the knees, we put the feet on the mat, pinky toes are towards the edge of the mat. They don't have to touch it, but they're just a little wider than your hips, and then the thighs can rest on each other, and that should feel very neutral to your lower back. So we got 2 choices here: legs long, toes flop open like a shavasana, or knees bent, feet a little wider than your hips, thighs resting on each other. Once we've got the neck and the legs fixed, let's do the arms. Palms are up about 45 degrees from the body. That might feel really good. Another choice would be to bring the hands to the belly, the rib cage, wherever they want to be on your body. Personal preference here. Once you get there, lie down, kind of settle in, right? We get in the pose, we adjust, and then rest. So let go of whatever it is that is on your to-do list for the day. I promise you it will still be there when class is over. And just come here with your mind and body together on this mat. Before you sink any deeper, just take a moment to scan the body and notice any areas where you might be holding on to tension. Specifically, check the face and the jaw. You have that crease between the eyebrows, the skin around the eyes and the mouth soft. Can you separate the teeth? And then put your tongue down in that lower arch of the jaw. And already things may have gotten a little bit softer. Then notice what's going on with the shoulders. And is the way that your hands are resting supporting the fact that the shoulders want to relax, or do you need to adjust again? And then slide down to the hips. And we tend to hold a lot of tension there. So if you notice any, can you release it? Because right now, we shouldn't need any tension there. We're lying down. So now that we're set up in a way that we can rest, I'm going to be quiet and I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Now, as we continue to rest here, letting the exhales allow you to sink just a little bit deeper into that mat, into that floor beneath you. Let's take a moment to set an intention for this practice. It might be this concept of just let go of that tension, let go of things that don't serve, or it could be anything else that's important to you. So just bring that, whatever it is, to the front of your mind and the front of your heart. And then we're going to bring a little bit of motion into the head and neck, gently turning the head one side to the other. So take your time. We're going to start to move again. And then bring the head, the nose back to center. Let the head and neck be still and wiggle your fingers. And if they're on your belly, just kind of lift them up and wiggle them around. If they're on the floor, same thing. Turn the hands at the wrists, first one way and then the other. And then allow the hands to rest again wherever they were. Just let them go back to the floor, back to your belly, whatever it is. And then we're going to move the feet. So if the knees are bent and the feet are on the ground, you can straighten the legs. You can do one at a time, straightening the leg, turning the foot, spreading and closing the toes, and then do the other one. Just bringing some motion back into the body, starting to wake up those extremities. And then we're going to take the arms long, take the legs long. Arms long, legs long, big, big morning stretch. So just getting as long as you can from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. Stay for an extra breath. And then bend the knees, put the feet on the mat, and then bring the knees into the body. We're going to make our way to one side or the other. Doesn't matter which, but just roll onto your side. Come onto your side. Pause here in this curled up fetal position. And then very slowly, we're going to use that top hand to push ourselves up to a comfortable seat. Take your time, take your time, take your time. And then once you come up to seated, this is where I always say, let's let the glitter settle, right? We were calm, we kind of shook up the snow globe, and now we gotta let that glitter settle again to come back to that sense of calm. And as we move between poses in this practice today, I'd like us to remember that, to try not to shake the snow globe too much. It's gonna shake when we move, that's part of it. But let's see if we can keep it kind of calm. So speaking of calm, I would like us to sit on a blanket for this next sequence. We're gonna move a little bit, bring some motion into the joints before we really take it down to nothing, right? So I'm gonna sit on a blanket, just gently moving my body back behind me to sit onto this blanket. And I'm gonna sit in a little crisscross applesauce. If that is not comfortable for you, you can sit in a chair. You can have your legs in front of you. It's most important that you're comfortable. So don't do anything that would hurt the body. No pain, no pain. That's the rule. Once you've found this, sit up tall. Crown of the head reaches for the ceiling. And we're going to take our right hand down to the floor and reach that left arm up, just up. So this is a big stretch across the front of the body. If the neck allows, look up at that hand. Fingers can be soft. Wrist is soft. Breathe in here in this side body stretch. So probably experiencing this stretch in the left side body. And then very slowly, carefully float the arm down. Come on back up to seated. Let both hands just rest in your lap. Palms down. And now we'll go in the other direction. So left hand comes down. Left hand comes down. Right arm lifts. Reach it up. But my hand and my wrist are soft. My fingers are active, right? But they're not like reaching. No, they're just kind of up. And then if your neck allows, you might want to look up. And you notice when you look up, that shoulder kind of drops back. Breathe here. And then float that arm back down. Let both hands be down in the lap again. Take a loop or two with the shoulders. And then we're going to do just some really slow cat and cow here. So as we inhale, let's think about lifting chest, lifting chin, lifting gaze. As we exhale, belly button goes back to the spine. Hang on to your knees, your shins. We drop the chin. We let the shoulder blades separate on the back, and we come into this seated, I apologize for that, the seated cat pose. I'm going to throw the phone out of the room. Inhale, get tall. Exhale. There we go. Now it won't bother us. Round. 2 more. And then return to that nice tall spine. So just bringing some motion into that spine, a little front back. We did a little side side. Just a real gentle twist now, taking that left hand outside right thigh. Look to your right. So it's almost like, hey, welcome to my home kind of thing. We're not pushing, we're not forcing, we're just kind of opening out to the right. And then return to center. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, and we do that same thing, opening out to the left. And then return to center, and let's switch the cross of our legs now. So if you're sitting in crisscross applesauce, we're going to switch. And if you're not sitting in crisscross applesauce and your legs are even, you don't need to do anything now. We're going to take our left hand down to the earth. We're going to reach up with the right. We're going to drop that shoulder back, look up at that hand if the neck allows, and just repeat that sequence that we did. Breathing here. And flip that arm down. Sit tall, palms down. Other hand, other side. So right hand down, left arm lifts. Let that shoulder blade drop down. Look up at the hand if the neck allows. Breathe here. And then come back. Hands come back to the lap, palms down. Again, we can bring the hands to the front of the shins. We can keep them on top of the knees. But we're going to do those real slow cat and cow movements again. Inhale, filling up, lift heart, lift chin, lift gaze. And then super slow, belly button goes back. Spine rounds, the shoulder blades separate, the chin drops. And again, coming forward, lifting. And lowering. One last one, just like that. And now sit up tall. Let's turn the palms up in the lap. Let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Notice how the body feels after just a little bit of movement. And as long as we're still in movement cycle here, let's add a little movement to the head and neck. So let's look over that right shoulder, just moving, turning the head just as far as the neck goes. So we don't force here. We're always very kind to those cervical vertebrae. And then we're going to come back to center, and we'll look over the other shoulder, look over left shoulder. And notice what you've got today, right? Come back to center, looking right shoulder. And then return to center, look over left shoulder. And then return. Drop right ear to right shoulder. I love these, what are these, dog tilts. So think about those shoulders kind of falling down. Even as your ear is trying to reach for the shoulders are going down, down, down. And then come back up, and we'll go the other way. Left ear down to left shoulder to floor, right shoulder to floor. So we don't want to be here either, right? We want these shoulders, boom, going down. Ear reaching down. Big stretch in the side of the neck. And then we just come back to center. Okay, and we're going to set up for our first held pose, and it is a chair pose. So chair pose in yoga is my least favorite pose. So this is my favorite way to do chair pose because it's wonderful. We're going to take our bolster, cushion, whatever you got, pillow, and we're going to take our blocks. So I'm setting up my blocks. They're on the middle height right now. I call that the mama bear height. And I'm gonna lean my cushion against it. So you see, this is at an angle. This is not straight up and down. Now my bottom is gonna go here, my bum will go here, my thighs will go here, and my feet are gonna go over. So I'll look like I'm in chair pose. However, if my feet don't touch the floor, I'm gonna want something to support them. So I have this really nice blanket here ready for me. If I need a blanket or something to support my head and neck, I grab that too. And if I need more than 2 blankets, I make sure I have them, right? We have to be supported in order to rest. So my bum, you see, is real close to this cushion, super close. I have short legs, so my thighs are completely supported by this. Oh man, this is awesome. So if you look at me, I'm set up like I'm in chair pose. If I were standing up, this would be chair pose. But I'm lying down and it's wonderful chair pose now. Let your arms be away from the body, palms up. And we're gonna rest here for about 5 minutes. So get into the pose, right? You build the structure, you get into the pose, you adjust yourself into the pose. And then rest there. So I'm keeping track of time. I'll let you know when it's time to move again, but rest there for now. For this next part of the pose, we're going to reach the arms straight up to the ceiling, letting the palms face each other. And as you reach the hands to the ceiling, you're going to feel those shoulder blades lift off the floor, and then you can kind of bring them right back. So it's just a gentle lift. And then a lower. We're not doing crunches here. We're just working with the shoulders. My head still on the floor. It's just my shoulders that are lifting and lowering. And then we're going to give ourselves a hug with that right hand on top of left. So give yourself that hug. Notice where the shoulders are on the back. Let the elbows rest on the chest. The rest of your body is still resting heavily on the mat, on the props. Breathe here and breathe into that space between the shoulder blades in the back. Then we're going to reach both arms up again, up to the sky, and cross the arms. Palms face each other. We'll do that same thing. The inhale, reaching the fingertips up a little bit higher, and we feel that part of the arm lift off the floor. And then we exhale, bring them back down. So it's just a little piece of the shoulder lifting and lowering. And even as my arms are working, my legs are doing absolutely nothing. They're just resting heavily. And then the next time the arms lift, we're going to take it into the cross. This time, left hand on top of right. Let the arms rest on your chest. Breathe here. And then we're going to take both arms back up again, uncross, and very gently float them back down by your side. Now we're going to let the legs do a little bit of movement. So let's bring in the right knee. Take your time, bend it, bring it in, give it a hug. And then your left knee, bring it in. So here's what has to happen. First of all, you might want to do a little rock side to side, which is just nice for the lower back. It's a nice massage. But what we'd like to do is get this mat cleared off. So you might want to roll to one side, doesn't matter which. And then, I don't know if you can kick it off, go ahead, kick it off. But if that's too much for the nervous system, then push yourself up to a comfortable seat, move it, and come back down. So we're going to stay on our backs. I think I'm going to be pretty good with this kicking idea. I like my kicking idea. Yeah, worked for me. So now I've got pretty much clear space. I'm going to bring the right knee in. Right knee comes in. I'm going to turn the foot. Turn it in both directions, point and flex. And then we're going to take a twist. So let's take that right knee. Let's cross it over the body. Let's extend that right arm if it feels good. If not, we bring that right hand to the right hip and rest in this little twist here. So this is your twist, and I want it to be comfortable for you. If it's more comfortable having both knees bent, then do that. If it's more comfortable with the arms extended wide, find where you need to be. Rest into this twist. Then we're going to untwist, come back to center. Okay. This time we bring the left knee in. Now, if you need to make an adjustment, like lift up the hips, realign the spine, please take the time to do that. And then if you want to do a little rock and roll, that's okay too. But we bring our attention now to the left. We bring the left knee in. We can extend that right leg, or we can keep it bent. And we turn the left foot of the ankle. We go in both directions. We point and flex. All those little cracks and pops, that's okay. That's normal. And then we let that foot be still and we take that knee and we cross it over the body. Again, taking a twist now in the other direction. Making the adjustments that we need so that we're comfortable. And resting here. We'll untwist, we'll come back to center now. So we'll put both feet on the mat. We'll kind of realign everything, making sure that the spine is in line. And then we're going to make our way to seated again, that calm way. So we're going to roll to one side. Use that top hand and the bottom hand as well to help push us up to seated. When we get there, we let the glitter settle. Okay. So where we're headed next, this next sequence, this next series, will take us directly into Shavasana. So as little fuss as possible, which I really like. Because when we get that nervous system that it's finally calm, I hate to jiggle it around. We're going to build a ramp, and I'm using my 2 blocks, but you could use a rolled up blanket or towel here. I do want those 2 blankets for something else, so save those. I've got my baby bear height and my mama bear height, and I'm going to take my cushion and I'm going to build this ramp. Okay, so this is at an angle now. One end is on the floor. It's supported, going up probably like 40-degree angle. So my bottom is going to go here and my spine is going to go on it. But we're going to take it into like a reclined tree pose. So we're going to come down to the back. I'm going to turn this around just so you can see maybe a little bit better. Come down onto the back. Back is on the cushion. Keep your your rolled up blankets, towels close at hand. So my bottom is on the floor. It's on the floor. So I get real close. I like slide on the cushion and then I put it on the floor because I want my bottom on the floor. That's where I'm most supported. And then my spine's gonna go that way. I'm gonna take my legs wide legs, lie down. And let's bring in the right knee. Bring it in, bend it, and we're gonna put that right knee inside the left thigh, like we're in tree pose. Now, right now, the way that I'm seated here, everything looks good. My leg is resting very comfortably on the ground, which is highly unusual for me. So if your leg is dangling, you know you can't rest. So we take that rolled up blanket and we put it under there to support it so that this thigh knows that it's okay to rest. Those toes flop open. If you can bring the palms up onto the earth, palms up. If you have additional blankets, towels, you could even support your arms if they're not reaching the floor. So we're gonna be 5 minutes this way, 5 minutes the other, and then we take it from here into a really nice Shavasana. Rest here. Make the adjustments that you need to rest. I'm keeping track of time and I'll let you know when it's time to switch sides. So don't sweat that. You shouldn't need to worry about anything right now, but the slow, even breath and the release into the supports beneath you, whether it's the bolster, the blanket, the blocks, the mat, the floor, the earth, all of those things. Rest. We will begin our transition to the other side. So let's take that right hand and gently come to the outside of the right thigh and gently begin to lift that thigh, bringing the right foot back to the earth. And if you had a support under it, you can move that support. And then extend the right leg long, let the toes flop open. My legs are wide. They're out beyond, my feet are beyond the edges of my mat. So just take a breath here. And then we're gonna bend the left knee and bring that left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Now on this side, this makes more sense on this side because I know my thighs just don't necessarily open that way. My knee is not touching the ground. It is not resting there. So I'm gonna take this rolled up blanket. I'm gonna support that thigh. And it's pretty high up now, but now this leg can rest. And we come to the other side. So we've got 5 minutes on this side. Let the right leg be long, let the toes flop open. This left foot is to the inside of the thigh, but if it's not touching because that right thigh just kind of opened and softened, don't worry about it. We're set up in this reclining tree pose. Let your upper body rest heavily on the support beneath it. Stay with your breath and rest here. I'm keeping track of time. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Okay, we'll begin our transition from this pose. Let's take the left hand, the outside of that left thigh, with the hand and the foot. We just kind of gently make the way that so that that knee is up, that foot is down. And let's extend that leg long, toes fluff open. So just take a breath or two here. Notice how the hips and thighs feel. And then for our Shavasana, we're going to take these two blankets that we have, again, moving as little as possible. We're going to bring one behind one thigh, let the leg go wide, toes fluff open. And then we're going to move the other underneath the other thigh. Oh, yeah. And this is just lovely. It's fully supported. So make the adjustments you need. Again, just really being kind to the nervous system. We get to a place where we're calm, and I don't want to lose that. And so with these legs wide, we're going to take a wide leg Shavasana. A little different than what we normally do. It's not usually this wide. If you don't feel comfortable, by all means, do what you need to feel comfortable. Palms are up. Spine is supported on the cushion. Let's lose the crease between the eyebrows again. Let's soften the skin around the eyes and the mouth. Separate the teeth, let the tongue rest in the lower jaw. And with each exhale, sink a little bit deeper into those supports beneath you. The blankets, the cushion, the blocks, the mat. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. All you have to do right now is rest. I'm keeping track of the time. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. without moving. Just bring your awareness back to that place where you were practicing yoga. And I know that we're separate, but we really are practicing together, whether you're doing this in real time or later. It's pretty stinking awesome. And then just begin to bring a little motion into head and neck, turning the head from one side to the other. And then we'll let the head and neck be still, and we're going to bring motion into fingers and wrists. And let the fingers and wrists be still, and wiggle your toes. Just wiggle your toes. And then one at a time, slowly, carefully, let's bend the knees. Bend the knees, put the feet onto the mat. If you need to move something out of the way, feel free. But we're going to make our way onto our right side, resting our head on our right arm like a pillow. This might mean that we do a little scooching and we just come down onto the cushion this way. Or we might roll onto the floor, curled up in our fetal posture, resting here. And in this place, take a moment to recall your intention. And then slowly, carefully, gently, let's make our way back up to seated. Let's keep that wonderful, good feeling, that sense of calm that we cultivated. Let's make our way back up to seated. Let's let the glitter settle. Find that length in the spine. And notice how you feel. We're going to bring those palms together in front of the heart center, uniting left and right halves of the body. Let the thumbs rest on the sternum. Tuck your chin. And thank yourself for taking time to relax and renew today. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you. It is an honor to be here with you practicing yoga. I will say namaste, and I will ask you to unmute yourself so that we